Right, so to finish off the show, we have the panic meter back for this week. Obviously, some different type of graphic here for different levels of panic. Um, we'll start with the only 7-4 team that we're going to put in. Obviously, Pook and Cheese are pretty much locks to make the playoffs, so there shouldn't be much panic for them. Bill, although he's at 7 wins, he should be okay, but his points for is kind of right around everybody else. So if he did go on a 3-game slide here, it would be a little bit of a question. So where should we be putting Bill's panic range in at the moment? I'll go first here. I'm going to put him in the SpongeBob Everything is Rainbows category because I don't think he's going to lose all three. I think he'll get one of the wins somehow. It could even be this week. And I think the win last week, I think before last week he was in the nervous category, but after that huge win over Ernie that I didn't see coming for Bill, now everything is rainbows. To get in the playoffs, as Bill said earlier, he's going to get in the playoffs. He's not going to do shit in the playoffs and probably be a first round easy win for somebody, but I think he can make it, and I don't think you should be worried about that. Cheese.
I think Bill is just a chill guy who got in the playoffs.
He's just a chill guy.
He's just
Okay.
a chill guy.
What are the
Yeah.
tiers?
Okay, right. We have Elmo on fire,
Yeah.
Kermit panic, SpongeBob freaking out, nervous Kermit, chill guy in the field, SpongeBob happy, and then Jonah Hill very excited.
I'm gonna say Jonah Hill very excited because Bill is very excited to
Wow.
make the playoffs somehow,
Okay.
and then he's just gonna become super sad once playoffs do happen. So right now he's
Okay.
very excited though because he put up a fight with this shit ass team.
Okay. Interesting. Pook.
I'm putting him. I'm putting him right between a chill guy and Rainbows.
Okay.
I think he's chilling right now. He's excited to make the playoffs,
Yeah.
and I think the SpongeBob is the reaction of whoever gets to play him in the playoffs.
Okay. Sounds about right. All right. Nobody else. Did everyone else leave the party? Pusa didn't
Yeah.
rejoin. All right. Moving on to the second team. Obviously, Pusa. Hopefully he rejoins so he can give us his level of panic on his own team. You see the points for there, pretty good, pretty high. So he really just got to get like one more win, and it could happen this week in a shit type matchup as we already previewed. If he loses this shit one though, as he said, his last 2 weeks are slaps, and then I forget who he said the last one was, but I don't think slaps is a pushover, so I don't know if I'd be talking like it's easy. I'm going to say because his points for, he's just a chill guy. I think he doesn't have too much to be concerned about. I think he's going to get at least a win in the next three and be fine. So I don't think he has too much to panic about. I think he's pretty chill. Out of all the 6-5 teams, I like his spot the best. Cheese.
Pusa is Kermit nervous.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think just because he has a real chance of losing this week. Um,
Okay.
and if he loses, it's a lot. Like the issue is like a billion teams at 6 and 7 wins, so you really need to be either 7 and 7 with a lot of points
He does have pretty high
for.
points for though.
But if he loses this week, he won't.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then you either need to be that or you need to like win 2 or 3. So I don't know. I
Okay.
think right in the middle because he does a good chance, but at the same time it could go bad. So right in the middle.
Okay. He did say admit finally this week. He didn't say it last week, but he kind of knew his team was shit last week, and he kind of saying his team lineup this week is also shit. So maybe he is a little secretively nervous. Rat.
Uh, I'm gonna put him shit like you said, chill guy. It's just because the points for he's one of the most points for in the league, so that's really gonna help him at the end of the day if he does wind up in that 7 and 7 category.
Okay.
It would be pretty hard for him to miss the playoffs if everybody goes 7 and 7.
All right. Pook.
I think that's a good spot
Chill
where he is
guy.
right now.
All right. So he's chilling. All right. The next team we have Zombie. Now, obviously, there was a little bit more harsher comments for Zombie, hoping that he loses from some people. I am going to say Zombie should be in the Kermit Nervous because when I look at Zombie's team, and I've been saying it for a couple weeks now, I don't see too much that's on the up. I do like the Herbert deal for him to kind of solidify his quarterback, but some of his other players have been trending downward, like Neighbors. Jones has been kind of banged up and not performing as well as he was earlier in the season. It's really just Cooper Kupp popping off for him. So I'd be a little bit nervous if I was Zombie that if he can't somehow scratch out a win this week in that shit bowl fest, then maybe if he loses this week, he should be extremely nervous. Cheese.
We are freaking out.
Freaking out. Wow. Okay.
I think he needs to win this week.
Okay. Yeah.
As you said, it's on a downward trend for him. And week 13, he plays Slaps, who's on fire. And then he does get bailed kind of in week 14, but
Wait, he plays slaps in week 14? I thought Pusa said he plays slaps.
no, week 13.
Yeah, that would be next week.
Yeah, it's Zombie versus Slaps.
So then, who does Pusa play?
Pusa plays
Pusa
Bill.
said he played slaps and then somebody else to end the season.
No, he plays Bill.
Who plays Bill then
Uh,
Slaps, buddy?
Oh, Bill then slaps. Okay.
So Zombie's kind of getting. You know what? Put Zombie back in the middle because he's getting bailed out by fucking playing Bill bye-week Bill the last week of the
So
season.
where am I putting him then?
He's right in the middle. He's right in the
Oh.
middle.
Okay, so Kermit nervous. Okay. So you're saying he might lose this week and to slaps next week, but then he might get bailed in the final
Yeah.
week, beating Bill to
Yeah.
get to 7. The question is, would that be good enough at that
And
point?
maybe not.
Depends on how many points he scores the next 2 weeks. Okay. Rat.
I'm gonna put him in the Kermit the Frog
Panic.
category.
Wow. All right. So the most panic so far. Why?
I think I remember that back then it was Ernie and Zombie up top, 3-0, starting off hot, and I made the comment the two biggest guys on the standings are up top and they could collapse. And ever since that, it's Zombie
Yeah.
started 5-0.
Yeah.
He's 6-5 now. His team has not really shown much, and I think he is one of the two that misses out.
Out of the 6 and 5s. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Pook. We know your
You know
history with
what?
zombies, so
On the outside Zombie right now, he's acting like he's in the SpongeBob Rainbows.
yeah, he would never tell
But
you.
on the inside, he's secretly in the Elmo Fire.
Oh no.
I was originally gonna put him in the Panic, but then Rat said he started out 5-0 and he's been 1-5 since. Or 1-5,
Be
yeah.
accurate, has he?
That's what Rat said. So I think
wasn't it
he's
him that- yeah.
I was
securely.
5-0, buddy.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he was something up. He was up
I'm
with you.
looking
Might
right
have
now.
been
He was
4-0.
Or was it Ernie?
2-0.
Was it Ernie and you? Or
I'm looking. He's 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, lost to Food.
4-0?
4-1.
But still, started
I
4-0.
mean, that's
pretty
still
good,
what,
though.
2 out of
Yeah,
5?
2 out of 7.
All right, so secretly deep down, zombies. I think the real thing, I think zombies in a similar case of Bill, where he might get in, but I don't think the team's a championship caliber team for zombie this year. So from that standpoint, he should definitely be panicked because I don't see this team winning at all, like in some of his other championship teams. All right, the next team, obviously in the 6th seed, Zach at 6-5, had a rough week this past week against Cheese. Although, it's a lot better season already this year for Zach than what happened last season, so I'm sure he's happy about that at least. So where should his panic level be? I think Zach, I'm going to put him in I'm going to say he should be freaking out a little just because Tyreek Hill is not popped off with Tua back like a lot of people thought he'd be back. Kelsey, though, has had some good games, but then last week, inconsistent. Some of these trades that he made right before the deadline, it's going to be interesting to see how those work. When Chase Brown gets back off by Hubbard, and Sutton, how those guys perform. If he ends up winning those trades, then he'll get in the playoffs and he shouldn't be too nervous. But it's kind of just a giant question mark, which should make you a little bit nervous because you don't know how those guys are going to perform. And if they don't perform good, you're going to miss the playoffs because you're going to lose these next few weeks. Cheese.
I have Zach on a panic.
Ooh, Kermit Panic. Okay.
Because I don't see him winning this week.
Okay.
And next week is a tough matchup. Could win, could lose, and then he's on Bipocalypse last week.
Ooh.
Although he is playing Pook, who's also on.
So that could be.
Pook's on less of a Bipocalypse.
I tried to scam him. He wouldn't take it.
But Zach is on Lamar Bipocalypse on
Week 14 when I play him.
Wow.
So he
So
kind of
that could be a must-win that he needs.
Look,
and-
there's going to be a lot of 7-win teams, so we really have to see how the points shake out.
Yeah, and he's kind of right in the middle. But these next few weeks will be crucial. If you lose, at least score a good amount of points. Pook, or sorry, Pook, go ahead.
I'm gonna put him at a chill guy.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
you know why? Because at this point last year, that's what he was doing. Because he did not give a shit about fantasy last year at this time.
So he's already way better than last year. Okay.
Yes.
Did he beat you this season when you played?
Probably no.
No,
Because that'll be week 3, right?
because I know you were saying how he's like never
I did
beat
him.
you.
I beat him by 70. No,
So he's-
last year he beat me twice.
he
but
did beat you
before that he was
okay.
like not 1-9.
I was gonna say if he's never beat you and then he needs that win in
No.
week 14, then he'd be mass panic. But all right,
He
Rat.
still has a terrible record against him.
I can't. I'm gonna say about Zach, but Kermit the Frog because I think
Wait,
there's
which
a
one?
very
The
good
panic or the nervous?
the Kermit, whatever the nervous one.
Okay.
Right in the middle.
There's a very good chance that Zach loses out. So,
But he's only nervous?
no, whatever the last one is.
Oh, so the mass panic.
Kermit,
Kermit,
I don't know,
Kermit,
I don't-
Kermit.
Elmo the Fire, because I think he
Oh,
loses
Elmo
out.
the Fire. Oh, that
That's
bad.
the worst one.
That's by
Oh.
one. I think he doesn't win a game the rest of the year.
Wow, so you're saying he loses out and misses. Okay, wow.
Yep.
All right, so we got Zombie and Rat, or Zombie and Zach as the two you're
I
saying
think,
miss.
yeah. Yep.
All right. And then the final 6-5 team, Rat. Obviously his team kind of the opposite, trending on the up a little bit now that he's got some players back like Nico. Bowers is back playing well.
Was he ever playing bet?
No, but there was like a week he had not very good and then he had a bye, so he's back.
His worst week was
now
like
performing.
15. I think
Are you
15 every
sure? I
week.
thought he had like 8 like a couple weeks ago and then was on bye. I don't know. Anyways, I think Rat's gonna get in the playoffs, but I think Rat should be freaking out a little just because I think all his playoff success chances and making the playoffs in particular rely on that trade he did with McCaffrey for Amari Cooper and Josh Allen. I think he needs Amari Cooper and Devontae Smith or Amari Cooper and Nico Collins to start looking like wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver 1 type guys. I think Nico will be fine, but Amari Cooper, I don't know. Something just doesn't seem right with Amari Cooper. I don't know if it's the injury or the fact that he's only been at Buffalo for a little while, so maybe he's still figuring it all out with Allen. But he needs him to have some big games in the next few weeks to kind of calm everything down. So for me, I'd be a little freaked out that maybe that trade wasn't the right move to make, but we'll see. Cheese.
I think Rat's just a chill guy.
Oh,
Chilling.
okay.
Because I don't think he's gonna go far in the playoffs, but he's chilling because he's gonna get gifted in there. So
Ooh, okay. Get it in there. One thing, he's going to have some big weeks, though, because his points for is...
So is
Right,
everybody just getting gifted in the playoffs according to
Buddy,
Cheese? 'Cause
I'm
it seemed like
not
the
the
whole
one-
league has been
I'm
gifted.
not
That
the
is
one.
Cheese's favorite
I'm
word,
not the
gifted.
one. I'm not the one who scheduled every bye week in the last 2 weeks. Okay, what do you
Yeah,
want?
the end. That's horrible
There's a lot of
scheduling by the
lopsided
NFL.
Yeah,
matchups.
but I have a better bye week teams than most here.
Look. Next week, look. When fully healthy and off bye, your team's solid.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
just
well,
don't
come
know.
playoffs, it will be that. Yet you think he's
I
not
just,
going to go
well,
far in the playoffs.
I don't know. I don't trust some of his players to stay healthy is the issue.
Okay. All right,
So I
Pook.
think he's chilling. He's chilling.
What place is it? That's seventh, the final spot. You know,
Yeah.
from the way Rat's been talking, you would think he's locked in. He's a third seed. He's not gonna
Uh-huh.
miss the playoffs.
Okay.
I think he's at the Kermit nervous.
Okay.
I think if he has an off week, which is
Uh-huh.
very possible, we might see some backtracking in the chat. But again, he has to have an off week, and every week for him right now matters.
Yep. I do think it's a little bit kind of deja vu with when he faced Slaps and everybody said that he was going to win and he made the proclamations of if he loses then he's just done or it's horrible. And this is a very similar situation. I'm not saying he's going to lose this week, but I do sense Rhett's trying to make it seem like it's all A-okay, everybody's back and good, and I don't know. Devontae Smith, I wouldn't say he's back. He hasn't been doing too much. And we'll see what these injured guys, Cooper and Nico, if they do it. So I'd be a little nervous. Rat, where's your level of
I'm
nervousness
putting
for
me
your
in
team?
perfect. Well, not
Perfect.
Okay. Perfect for getting into the playoffs. I
Oh,
don't think I had the best team that would get into the playoffs, but I think I'll put up a better fight than most.
okay.
My hot take here is that I can win out the rest of the season and be
Who
9 and
do you
5.
play? Because this week isn't a hot
Hold
take
on,
that
let
you're
me
gonna
finish.
win.
Can I finish, Pooh? I think I'm going to be 9 and 5 or
Okay.
8 and 6, and it's literally going to come down to me and Golfer. I've never beaten Golfer. That's going to be the big one, but I am comfortable making the playoffs to finish
Okay.
out, and I
Alright,
think I'll be
interesting.
fine for playoffs.
Who
I'm
do
not
you
saying I have the
play?
best team coming into playoffs, but I think I have the best chance out of these 6 and 5 teams to make the playoff.
Who do you play next week?
Golfer. That's where I
Who do you play week 14?
cheese. I'm not scared of cheese this time. Nope. I'm not losing
Really?
to
I'd be
cheese.
the
Week
most.
Go
Wow.
on record here. I'm not
No.
losing
Wow.
to cheese. I'm
So
not
are
losing.
you're guaranteeing a win against Cheese?
I'm
week
guaranteeing a win against
14. Week
cheese and Matt.
14 is bye
Uh,
week versus bye week.
I'm guaranteeing a win versus
Rat will
Wow.
cheese and Matt.
have B-Rob and
Mm.
Nico Collins out.
But I'm very
no. After all this, I'm putting you down into
put it
panic.
on
I'm
record.
changing mine to panic because I just sense too much false
Put it
positivity
on
here.
record.
I
Put
sense
it
too
on
much.
record.
The fact that you're saying you're gonna
Watch the
beat
YouTube
Cheese
video, everybody.
guaranteed when Cheese has had a great season and has a very good
I
team.
never said he hasn't had a great
Week
season,
14,
but half my
But you
team's
Jordan
been
don't.
dead.
Love.
I would be the most worried about beating him in the final week than I
Look,
would be about my
look.
team.
Half my team has been dead all year, and I've
Mm.
been able to scrap out 6 and 5, and I'm not worried when they're fully healthy, and I think they're back this week.
All right.
Week
And my team has
14.
been dead a lot this
Week
year.
14, Jordan Love will take Rat behind the shed and end his season.
Okay,
Wow.
we'll see.
Okay.
I hope. I mean,
All
I hope
right.
you,
Moving on now to a couple teams that are on the outside looking in. Obviously, myself at 5 and 6. That loss last week hurt. I was really hoping Tyler's team would shit the bed like it's done most of the year, but it did not. It did the total opposite. And now that leaves me in a kind of tough predicament where I need to have some good high-scoring weeks. I did score decent last week to at least keep the points for up there around everybody else and ahead of a few of them. But I'm going to have to at least win 2 out of 3, and I might just have to win all 3. And that starts this week against Cheese, who I have not been able to beat recently, including the first time around this season where his team popped off. I am going to put myself in the freaking out category because unlike Rat saying his path is nice and glory, I think my path is hard the next 2 weeks. Obviously, I get Matt in the final week of the season, and he does have Henry on bye. So I'm not too. If I can pick up a win in one of the next 2 weeks, either against this week against Cheese somehow, or in a miracle, or next week against Rat, then I feel much better. I would change myself to a chill guy after that. But right at the moment, I don't have that win, so I'm going to be freaking out a bit until I get that win either this week or next week, hopefully. But we'll see. It does worry me a little this week, too, that it's the first game for Evans back. It's the first game for Pacheco back, who might steal some of Hunt. So that doesn't really help me. I need them back like a game in, so hopefully then next week against Rat, maybe they're even better. Unless somehow they just pop off in their first week back from injury, which normally doesn't happen. So I'm freaking out a bit. Cheese.
I
Where
think you
should
were
Pink
right
be?
in between freaking out and panic.
Okay.
Because unlike some other teams, you're only at 5 wins, so you got to win
Yep.
2 out of 3.
Yep.
And week 14 is potentially a free win. You also have some bye issues, not nearly as bad, obviously. But I think winning 2 is gonna be a lot harder than just winning. Like most of those guys just
Who do I have
gotta
in
win
bye
one.
in week 14?
Your hero Bo Nix,
Oh,
Eckler.
well, no.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Matt team's on by 5, so but you have to win at least one of the other ones, and that can be
Yep.
tough because
Yep. It's
my
two
team's
tough
gonna push
teams.
over, and then Rat's team
I
is
need Rat's team to have a really good week this week, and then that will make me feel a little better next week.
So I think possible, but I would say tough path.
Okay. Rat.
Putting you in the same category as you to put yourself.
Okay.
Like I said, it really comes down to next week, man. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it's me and you always have these close, tough matchups every time, and it's just always that high-scoring 5-point game that you always win. It's gonna come down to the fact that I finally break the curse, and we'll see if I do. And
Okay.
you're gonna need to pull out one more against me, and hopefully I don't go 0-4 in these 2 seasons against you in fantasy.
Yeah.
Or
Well, for my sake, I hope you do. All right, Pook.
I'm keeping you freaking out.
Okay.
I think, I don't know. If Bo Nix can carry you, I'm gonna say if you make the playoffs off the back of Bo Nix, you're gonna be on the complete
Bo
other side of
Nix.
that arrow.
Oh.
Flip
Okay.
that arrow the other way around. That's what you'll be.
Come on, Bo
Because
Nick.
you get to brag that you made the playoffs, and you get to brag that your
Come on, Bo
quarterback brought
Nick.
you there.
I don't see Tyler using Caleb Williams right now in fantasy.
Well, because he doesn't have
Yeah, but he wouldn't be using him even if he had him, based on how he's playing. All right, and then the final team this week of the panic meter, I had to throw in my good boy Ernie because, as we mentioned earlier, he's got to win out at 4-7. He's had some tough break losses the last few weeks to put him in this situation. He does have a good, decent points for, so that's one benefit for him if he can win out. But he's going to have to, he can't slip up anywhere in the next 3 weeks. And starting this week with Pook and kind of a game that they both kind of have bye issues, so anything could happen this week. I am putting Ernie in between the Elmo Fire and the Mass Karmic Panic because really the last couple weeks when he started losing those games in high scoring unlucky fashion, it cost him. And then this past week, when he thought he had maybe a Monday night miracle with Aubrey making that long kick, and then the penalty wiping out the points, and then Tank Dell gets a couple catches, and then there goes his chance of winning. He's just had a ton of Monday night heartbreaks and blues this year. He's going to probably have Ladd McConkey on Monday night this week, giving him maybe a chance to win. Is it going to go his way? I don't know. I just think Pook might end his season early, so I'd be very worried if he was facing somebody else besides Pook this week, then maybe I'd feel a little bit more confident in his chances to at least get by this week. But the fact that it's Pook, and I don't know, I just feel like Pook's going to have his number this week and maybe end it now. So I'd be very worried. Cheese.
Ernie's at the bottom.
Ooh, all the way at the bottom. Okay.
Look, he's been getting unlucky. I have to say it. He's had some huge weeks where he just someone
Yep.
else pops off. His points for is like
If you think about it, he was looking very strong to win against me and Bill, and then Taysom Hill drops a 40 some bomb, and then CeeDee Lamb dropped a 39 bomb on the evening games to just totally flip both of those projections in those
I
matchups.
mean, yeah, Ernie's just been like real unlucky this year.
Hmm.
He also hasn't beaten like the teams he should have been beating.
Yep.
If he did those, he's in fine position.
Yeah, if he
But
beat Matt, that'd be huge right now for him.
because
At
like
least
his team's either putting up like 150 or 97. So I don't know how that, but so I think unfortunately,
too many people
at
to
the
jump
bottom
as well, maybe.
now there is a sliver because he has such a high points for.
Yep.
But if he did win out, I think he'd be a lock at one of the 7-win teams to get in. But he'd have to win.
Okay. All right. Rat.
I'm gonna agree with everybody here.
Okay.
It's literally just his wide receivers that wind up selling him in every week,
Yeah.
and we haven't had it all year where they all just click together. And
It had
his
some.
final 3 weeks is gonna be questionable. We'll see. I think if he beats Pook, it looks really good to come back.
If
But
he wanted to trade me McCaffrey, he'd be having some wide receivers right now. But
Well, I mean, Ernie's been
well,
all in all
what's
season
your
on
offer,
the
buddy?
3 running backs.
I'm just saying, my wide receivers are better than his wide receivers.
Yeah, but what were your
So,
offers?
I
Does
don't
McCaffrey?
really. I mean, I know Kyron hasn't done good, so that trade does look really good for him. But his strategy all season has been the 3 running backs. It hadn't been working really for him to get the wins, and then he just goes and trades for McCaffrey and gives up even more
well, I think the issue is because
wide receiver.
Saquon a couple times has gone like 8 and 10, not all like 2 or 3 times, and then Kamara has had some lower weeks too. So like when that happens, he's just
I
cooked.
really think when Kamara was popping off at the beginning of the season,
You
now
should have sold him.
I know this is hindsight, but I really think he should have took after those huge Kamara games earlier in the year, traded him for a stud wide receiver that
I
he
also
probably could have
think
got.
he's been
And
Mahomes
it would have
is
just
tanking.
balanced out his lineup more because then he would have had Barkley, McCaffrey with that stud wide receiver.
I think Mahomes has tanked them as well.
Look, I'm not
Yeah,
saying like
hasn't been the
Lam
best.
McConkey's the worst wide receiver, but he has
He's like
had
a flex though. He's like a
he
flex
has
one.
like he goes from 7 to 18 to 7
Well,
to 8
that's
to
the
You know,
point.
18.
yeah.
He's
The
not a
issue is
wide
that like
receiver one.
McConkey is
He's
like
a
a solid
flex.
flex
And then
one, flex two, but he has no
Calvin
wide
Ridley,
receiver
you
one.
can't trust in a Will Levis wide
Once again,
receiver
another
every
flex
single
wide
week.
receiver.
Yeah, there's nothing.
He's that's the whole point. He went with a running back heavy, 3-headed running back monster. Barkley was a great pick, obviously. McCaffrey is good.
And there's
Kamara
so many weapons
was
in those
good, but I just
offenses.
think he should have traded
Yeah.
McCaffrey and or not
Well, he
McCaffrey,
has
traded
like
Kamara and got a wide
his
receiver.
running backs are like top tier, and then his quarterback's been mid. And everything else has basically been mid or below average.
His kicker's been better than his wide
Outside of like
receivers.
that
Mostly,
random
Where the
3-week stretch
issues
where Pitts
was,
popped off.
Yep.
his kicker's been
Yep.
more
I just
valuable
don't
than
think that
his.
strategy worked with
Like he could have picked
Yeah.
up Bo
3
Nix and
running
had a much
backs.
better quarterback. He could have picked up a Tony like.
Oh well.
No, he's not going off Mahomes. It's Mahomes. All right,
Well, Mahomes is
Pook,
an ass. He should have.
where is Ernie's panic meter at? Having to win probably.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put him straight at the bottom
Hmm.
after he
Yep.
loses this week to me.
Okay.
Not even there. Put it straight all the way down.
Okay.
All the way right at the bottom.
Straight down.
That's
The nail in
after
the
he
coffin.
loses to me.
Hmm.
I don't want to do it to him, but unfortunately, I have the better San Francisco player, and that's just how it rolls here. Better players win the games.
Okay. All right, there we have it. Good luck to everybody this week in week 12. We will catch you back here next week to see what happens and to go over week 13.